Hi guys, welcome to the Saving Money Show with me, your host Sean. Today we're going to talk Nkla and GM, the markets, and have a bit of a mishmash and some and there'll be some shares that I've picked up or will be picking up at the end of it. So I hope you'll stick around for that. To start with, we're going to have a discussion about Nkla and the GM deal. I'm sure you heard GM has paid $2 billion for 11%, and they are going to be producing the Badger, or at least the fuel cell and a lot of it. Basically, my opinion is they come to an agreement before and to overpay for the 11%, manipulating the market so that both GM and Nkla have their share prices increased, and I wouldn't be surprised if GM got the money straight back. No money changed hands in exchange for them producing the Badger. GM got a great deal in the way that it adds credence to GM's electric vehicle program, and the other thing is GM's autonomous driving software. Some people like it because it will switch off the autonomous driving with this black box if you take your eyes off the road. Other people dislike it because of that. And then as I said before with the Badger, if the Badger is successful, there's a chance that someone else will come up with hydrogen network for them. However, if they don't, and Badger isn't successful, then the semi will fail, Nkla will fail in my opinion, and GM has done all that work for nothing. I would like to know your opinions. The GM autonomous driving system uses LiDAR. I've spoken about that before compared to Tesla's autonomous system. In my opinion, it's not as good. You know, you can only use it on mapped roads and certain highways, and in certain conditions, you know, it isn't very responsive still. And people ask me how I knew to sell Tesla $500 and then buy back at $330. I did a video before saying how $330 is my price range, and then it'll be $220 the next support. It obviously didn't reach $220, it reached $330, went down to $320 before rising. you have to think about it pre-split prices. What were you willing to pay? Pre-split prices. You have to take out the hype of the split, because the split's done with. You have to take out the hype of the S&P 500, because that is out of the picture, and that's what you're left with. What were you willing to pay before the S&P 500, before any of this about, oh, they can go into the S&P 500, before any of this about the split? And when people weren't willing to pay this amount, and yet it rose to that amount, that's why I sold. Anyway, and don't forget to hit that lovely like button, almost as lovely as me. Helps with the YouTube algorithm and getting the video out to more people. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Become part of the Saving Money Show family. We give each other hints and tips and updates about stocks and shares we talk about on the show. As well as that, you can ask me to look into any share you want, and I don't charge a Discord fee or ask for a Patreon. All I do ask is for you to comment in the box below and hit the like button, even if you disagree with me, especially if you disagree with me. I like a debate, and if I do something wrong, I want you to call me on it so I can improve the channel. And why not check out the links in the description below? There's lots of others. I've used each one of them myself. I wouldn't give you links if I haven't checked them out myself. If you're looking for a free trading platform which should trade your stocks and shares, you can get a free share worth up to £200 for signing up and depositing a small amount. A free trade only requires a £1 deposit. The others require £100 or dollars, depending on which one you go for. Stake has over 3,500 US stocks on their books, which is the biggest one outside of the US. Whereas Trading 212 is one of the best and easiest platforms to use. But as I said, I use all three. Anyway, on with the show. I said before about the market, and we will get dips like this. This isn't the only dip we will have on the road to recovery. Now, this is why I said before, you should have 2 notebooks. When you're doing your research, you should put your research down in a notebook, so that when you have a huge dip like this, you can refer to it and why you're buying that stock. You should also have one, I call them my war books, which is what company you want to buy but you missed out on, and the price you're willing to pay, so that you don't get FOMO. Anyway, we're going to look at some of the companies, and this is how I felt when I bought in Workhorse at 19, sold at 23.5, and then it went back down to 21. But bear in mind that just covered a loss that I incurred from a couple of other shares earlier. So now my Amazon's back up, my other companies are back up. I picked up a couple of Apple at 112. Now total, and I've spoke about this before, and people were asking me why total. I originally bought in about around 31, 32 before. I'm trying to find where, and I would have liked to have gone there, but I was too busy with others. And had a run up, sold out. Glad I did, because it's just had like downward sideways action. Now it's at a price worth getting back into. Oil is at a low. I have my tankers stocks. I've sold out of my oil stocks. I was considering going back into Exxon, where Exxon has dipped a bit, and thinking, why go into Exxon when I can go into a European stock, get the same dividend? And I said before how I did a whole video on this before, on how I think this is one of the best oil stocks to get into, purely because long term, renewable energy wise, this is one of the best. I consider this the most progressive for an oil company. It declared bankruptcy a long while ago, to stave off a takeover approach, and when it did that, it totally went through the company to get itself set up for renewable energy. So consider this 50% oil and gas, 50% renewable. Now, I also went into Highland Gold mining. I already had a small position. You can see the P ratio of 6, dividend of 2.38%. For a gold company in today's way things are today, that's pretty good. Gazprom, which is, oh, that's the wrong Gazprom. Gazprom, the Russian oil stock. Let me see if I can get it right. 8.73% dividend, P ratio of 1.36. Now, it is an oil stock, yes, but as I said before, picking up one or two Russia stocks, just a small percentage, because if this vaccine works, their economy will be going really well. International personal finance, I picked this up at 60. I had this before and sold during the run up. Now, Yahoo Finance, sorry. This is P ratio of 1.5 and dividend of 2.5. Now, there's Apple. We all know what Apple's like. Co-Crystal Pharma. Now, this has dipped down, way down, and I think this will have a turnaround soon. Had an overreaction. Jumia. Remember, I sold this at 14 and the remainder at $16 before earnings. Now, I still have good long-term feeling about this. It's Africa's Amazon. Remember, Africa is where all the companies are going, all the countries are going into. You've got Google, Facebook's going in there. You're getting China investing heavily in Africa. Now, Royal Dutch Shell. I used to be in Royal Dutch Shell. I sold out at a profit. I've traded it in the past. It's cut its dividend at 4.73%. Still a good dividend, but anyway, its debt to equity is about 46%, 46% if I remember correctly. Now, it was about $25 a share. If you're in the UK, remember RDSB, not RDSA, because that's the Dutch one. And in my opinion, this is the second best when it comes to renewable energy. And BP is now going into more renewable energy. So that's why. On the beach group, I'm looking at it, I'm not convinced yet. I did a few travel ones I was considering, but these are ones that I'm looking at. Now, reason why, well, you can see why, you know, it's almost half of what it was, and it has about a year and a half cash. GSK. Now, we heard about AstraZeneca halting the COVID-19 trials. That isn't going to affect the other companies. I was looking at Pfizer, but I think we've gone up a bit. I'm going to wait for a dip. Now, GSK has gone up today. Why? Because using Advil for the Advil range, using leading lady Angela Kinsey for the advertising. Now, I was asked about BigCommerce. I spoke about it before. I did a video when it was $80 a share. I said it needed more tie-ups. It's got too much debt for equity. It doesn't have any the income it isn't bringing in yet. It's not good enough. There's no way it's near Shopify. Now it's got a lot more agreements, but it's that debt to equity, the minus income, and the cash flow still bothers me. So it's come down from the 120 that it was when it made the agreements to the 140. So it's in the right range. Just wanted to get to the 80 to 85 mark for me to be able to take a punt on it. And it would be a punt because of the financials. Now, I went into it, I went into Stock Spirits. I did a video on that. This is a Brexit no deal one. Oh, I've already done. I went into BAT, and that's up. I mean, what could I say? I went in, and then it went up. Great timing, but it's all the dividend chasers. I haven't gone into Dinosaur. I'm still looking at that. Peloton. No. It went up $11 a share because of earnings. Now, I think they do great at earnings, but you know, I'm a bit worried about holding through earnings considering what's happening. Now, Slack has just dropped like a stone. This is supposed to be replacing email for work purposes. The problem you have is you have people using likes of Microsoft for one thing, and then they buy the whole package, and they don't want to be buying Microsoft Office for this, CrowdStrike for that, Facebook for this, Zoom for that, you know, Slack for that. They'd much rather buy Microsoft, have the Teams in and all that, everything all just banged in for one, and then have one invoice, easier to account. And so Slack has been losing. They've been gaining customers, don't get me wrong, but they haven't been, and they've been improving. They've blown earnings out of the water, like I said, to the top and the bottom, but people just don't, the outlook, people don't see the outlook as being great for them, and they think things are going to get worse, and that Microsoft would end up taking a lot of their customers. Now, what was the other one? It was China Mobile. Now, I know China Mobile was kicked out of the US along with some other companies, but it seems to have stabilized, be on an upward trend, and with 5G coming in, it's got a PE of 8, forward dividend of 5.7. Look, I've missed the $1.97, but when you think that, look, this drop more than that is worth it. It has more people in China than any other place, and a lot of other Asia work. A lot of other Asia countries, sorry. Now, please let me know in the comments box what companies you're buying. It helps with YouTube algorithm. Also hitting the like button. But there is something else. I've bought some before, and I'm considering picking up more. National Express. You can see why. It's at a quarter of its price. Now, it's the second biggest school bus operator in the country. Has the coaches, the trains. It has like a big moat to it. Now, the thing is, when you're looking at recovery stocks, going into like a Cheesecake Factory is fine. Going into like a Dave & Buster's, fine. But the upside to it isn't that good. A company like this, where you can 4x your money, you know, that's where an upside is good. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, stay savvy, stay investing. Goodbye.